Okay, so in this video, we want to actually answer a very common question. The common question is about the differences between coaching, mentoring, training facilitation, and most importantly, what is a coach supposed to do? What is a trainer supposed to do? And I feel that it is actually good for me to document this because I do answer this question every single period. I won't say every day, but I do get this question very often. So Jack here in this video, let me achieve that. So I'll be talking about a couple of things. So let me just write them down. Number one, I want to ask the question. Maybe I use a different color. That would be great. Okay, just hold on. Allow me to use another color. So if you are a coach, you want to understand what exactly a coach is doing. You may be a trainer, okay? So you may be a trainer, so you want to know what exactly a trainer is supposed to do. Okay, some of you might be transcending to facilitation. So you are a facilitator. That's awesome. Congratulations. And then I do personally mentoring as well. So what does a mentor do? Okay, so it's a coach, same as mentor. It's a trainer, same as mentor. It's a facilitator, and are facilitators and trainers the same? And there's one more I want to mention that is called consultant, aka or also known as advisor. Okay, so there are quite a lot of, I would say, roles that are available in the marketplace. And I like to start with this Accession Path, which I learned from my teacher and mentor, Blair Singer, who is the rich dad advisor for Robert Kiyosaki in sales and team development. So I like to start with this, what I call the Accession Path. Some people like myself who studied with Blair, that was 2013. What happened was that I was first presented this Accession Path, and it is pretty cool. And I realized that, yeah, I mean, in these 9 years, it is happening to me every single time. When it comes to this Accession Path, it makes a lot of sense. Most people, when they first started, and they want to play safe, they want to only work with one-on-one. And Blair said that a very logical step is for people to start as a coach, because that is how you learn what question to ask. You learn how to listen better, and you work on yourself, and most importantly, you start learning how to transform other people's life. Okay, so that is a coach. And sooner or later, you'll find that the next ascension is actually something called a trainer. Okay, so instead of doing one-on-one basis, you started actually transferring your knowledge, your know-how to a group of people. So a training, if you can do it on a one-to-many basis, that's actually what we talk about as trainer. Now the thing about trainer is that the end of the Accession Path? Not really, because there are a few more steps involved. What is important is that for a trainer, it is expert knowledge transfer to the participants. Okay? What we are saying is that as a result, trainers are supposed to be the subject matter experts, supposed to have the experience, the know-how, the expertise. Okay? Because the participants pay to go to trainer's room to learn the information. Okay? So what's the Accession Path for trainer is something called facilitation. Facilitation, okay? I always have some challenge of spelling this name, facilitation. So what's facilitation actually? Facilitation in this case is, again, you are a facilitator in the room. Instead of you passing the knowledge to the participants, your job, as what Blair taught, is to make learning easy, because the word facilitation came from the French word facile. Facile, I don't know pronounce it properly, but facile is just to make things easy, make learning easy. Make learning easy. Okay, how many of you remember in school where learning environment is such that learning is actually quite tough? Because when you want to raise your hand, first of all, you have to judge whether the teacher allows you to raise hand. And when the teacher said, okay, you can ask a question now, what happened is that the teacher said, do not ask stupid question. Or when the teacher asks a question, you make sure you know the answer before you raise your hand, because when you answer wrong, what happened? Stupid! And then you would not want to ask any question or participate anymore. In the adult learning environment, what we understand is the fact that we need to create this conducive environment to have interaction and engagement. So it means that as a facilitator, you've got to make things easy. You've got to draw, help. You've got to have a process that allows you to draw the lesson from the participants. And most importantly, learning comes from them, not from you. So there's a huge difference between facilitation and training. And the next thing is this. The next thing is that in order to be an awesome facilitator, you got to learn how to create a curriculum. So we use the phrase called program design, which is what I specialize to. I know how to create program. Not to say that program about, okay, this chapter 1, chapter 2, or day 1 is all about knowledge transfer. No. For program design, the key thing you need to take note of is this. The key thing is you need to have this ability of process or steps involved to create activities. I'm not saying games, because most people actually, when they learn something called gamification, their focus is on creating games. And I like to say that it's not about creating games. It's not, program design is not about creating games. The idea is to create a process to get them to do something, You want to really make sure that they do the work, because learning is not by absorbing the information from you. We are not in school. We are not like reading a textbook and we are supposed to remember everything. This is not how we learn, by the way. So what happens in the adult learning environment is that we are not talking about creating games. We are talking about create activities that can make them learn by doing it. That is the key. And as a result, when you design a program, that transformation process is to help them become more confident, more empowered. And how do you do that? Well, it's all about program design. So I would like to start with this Accession Path, so that you know there are a couple of things actually when you decide to progress in this career, well, you can actually learn a lot. Okay, sounds good, right? Now let me go back to these few roles: the coaches, the trainers, facilitator, mentor, consultants, and advisor. And most importantly, what are they doing? Okay. Now I do not expect you agree with me. If you don't, that's fine, because different people have different perception or different experience. I'm just coming from my experience, okay? So first of all, there are a few things you want to know. I like to use this map to outline what we call the differences. Okay, so here on the x-axis, I like to use the word expertise or experience. I like to actually mention that experience and expertise, so i.e. subject matter expert. Okay, you can't teach people theory. So some people argue that professors are transferring the theory to the students. That's why professors are only teachers, but professors are not practitioners. Well, I will talk about this another day, not in this video. Having said that, it is very important for you to realize that some people rely on you because of your expertise, because of your experience. Okay? So on the other hand, I like to use this word. This word is actually about the scalability. Now, I've talked about early on scalability. I talk about a coach can be one-on-one. Of course, some people know how to do group coaching. So in terms of scalability, there's also a difference. Okay? So let's put this category in places, and then you see what they are. Okay, so let's talk about coaches. Coaching to me is not about giving an answer. Coaching to me is about your ability to ask questions, your ability to listen with intent, your ability to help your coachee, we call them the coachee, your clients, to create more awareness and gain clarity. So as far as I'm concerned, the skill set required for a coach, the coaching skill, is not about giving the coachees the answer. Hence, if you ask me, do you need to be like a subject matter expert? Like if you are doing life coaching, do you need to be very clear with your life? Okay, another time of the day, we'll talk about this. But even though you may not be running a very profitable business, can't you be a business coach? Now, here's one thing I know. Some people argue that if you are not running a successful business, you can't be a business coach. The fact is that if you accept the definition of coaching, it is all about asking questions, it's all about listening to what your coachee says. So coaching, I would actually say that expertise and experience required is not something that you want, or it is required. In fact, I would say in terms of scalability, if this is low, okay, if this is low, if this is high, I will actually put coaching or coach under this category. Why? Because this is what I define coaches are, how I define coaches. So on the scale, you realize that if that's the case, then the next thing is that expertise. If someone requires expertise, someone requires experience when they are able to render a service, then I may say that in that case, you might be actually functioning as a mentor. The reason why I'm saying this is very simple. Would you want to approach a mentor who knows nothing about what you want to ask? Would you want to approach a mentor when the mentor hasn't had that experience you want, hasn't done anything that you want to do, and hasn't been there before? Like we always love to say the phrase like mentors are people who have done that, who have been there, okay, so that you can get the answer or the input from your mentor fast, easy, and better, so that you don't need to spend any unnecessary time to figure out by yourself. That's why you seek mentors' help. So as a result, you do want a mentor to have the expertise and the experience. In fact, both, okay? However, I don't know whether you experience any group mentoring. So as a result, to me, mentor who is primarily one-on-one is also quite low scalability, okay? And on top of that, other than mentor, another word very similar to mentor in this case is advisor or consultant. Why? Because you go to a consultant or advisor for only one thing, that is the answer, right? You want the answer fast. You want the answer quick, and as a result, you go to the advisor and mentor and say, hey, I have this problem. Can you tell me what is the answer, so that I can get the answer implemented right away? So as a result, this is why I said mentor advisors are pretty much the same. So ask yourself in your coaching business, are you only asking questions and listen to what your coach said and then you redirect, or are you also giving advices to your coachees? So sometimes you realize that you might be doing two things at the same time. So you might be doing coaching and mentoring at the same time. Nothing wrong with that. I do that too. So I do coaching and mentoring, but you just need to notice that the differences between a coach and a mentor is what I've said earlier on. Okay? It depends on the scope of engagement. You can be performing both coaching and mentoring at the same time. Got it? Okay, good. So now let's move the scales up to talking about scalability. So when you are talking about scalability, where subject matter expertise is required, then likely I'm looking for you as a trainer, because trainer, obviously you don't want to train all one-on-one. It's always a one-to-many basis. So scalability wise, yes, it is there. At the same time, trainer possesses or is expected to possess certain skills, what we call the expert knowledge. So therefore, trainers rightly fit on this side of the equation. Okay, so if let's say you talk about the other side, which is here, who is this person then? It's highly scalable. At the same time, there's no expected expertise or experience or subject matters required. Then I would say that this is really the facilitator. Now I learned from Blair, which I agree, and I experienced this myself. Like you watch the room, I mean the ideal point is that you have some idea or agenda what's going on before you facilitate. Having said that, a true facilitator is just doing group coaching, so to speak, to draw the lesson out from people in the room, make the room smart, and you are not the smartest person in the room. Your job is to facilitate. So therefore, in terms of scalability, it's there because it is always not a one-to-one facilitation. Like I've never done any facilitation that's one-on-one, because if it's facilitation one-on-one, I call it coaching. Okay, facilitation is one-to-many. And do you need like expertise, subject matter experts? Ideally, yes. However, it's not required. So if you are talking about facilitator, then you will be on the spectrum that is highly scalable, and the expertise knowledge is not required, or it's not like not necessary. Of course, ideally you should have. Okay. So that being said, the question that I have for you is this: who do you want to be? Do you want to be a facilitator? Okay, good. Comment below in the video. Let me know. You want to be a trainer? Okay, good. You want to be a coach? Awesome. You want to be a mentor or advisor? Awesome. So the questions for you is that it doesn't matter. Why? Because all of them are profitable businesses. The only thing you need to know is how to make this business profitable. Okay, you have the skill set. Now is the business skill set. Okay, a coach can run a coaching business only if the coach knows how to market, knows how to sell, and most importantly, how to systemize the process. Does that make sense? Same thing for facilitator, for trainer. The skills for training, for facilitation must be there. However, to run it as a business requires certain things you need to know. Right? So I hope in future I have time to actually go through these business skill sets that you need as a trainer, as a facilitator and a coach. I hope you find some values in this video. Share with me one biggest takeaway you have. And remember, if you like what I share, make sure you subscribe to my channel, okay, and then press the bell button so that you get notification. And whenever I'm actually uploading another video, you will be notified. Good? So thank you very much for watching this video. You should learn by now the differences between a coach, a trainer, a mentor, and a facilitator, and of course, advisors and consultants. With that, Jack Wong here signing off, and all good wishes.